in honor of the special occasion, we would like to offer you a unique, once-in-a-lifetime, it's the Immortal Lifetime Gift Policy. It's just for you, Lisa.
How old did you say you were again?
55. Why?
Wow, that explains that.
You are aware that at 55 you're considered a senior? And this area really caters towards a younger generation, or at least until the age of 54.
Today, only 55.
Oh, I see.
Okay, I'm 55.
Oh, we have specials for seniors. You get a discount and half a meal because I know at your age you can't digest the way you used to.
What the? Oh my God, I can't see.
Yeah, well, your body does change. You know, you're starting to see less and less, and then there's the cataracts.
We have another great show lined up for you tonight, so don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Robert DeLesser, and I'm the host of Rob's Inner Circle, broadcasting live. I'd like to give a huge shout out to the producer of Rob's Inner Circle, Jenny Duhame, and to the podcast techie on our show, Patty, Lady Starlight Saragosa. In the news, well, you remember last week we had our host, our guest. I was hosting our guest. We had our guest, Corey Ramirez from the Montreal Alouettes. He was on this show. And he gave away 2 pairs of tickets for the Montreal Alouettes game against the Ottawa Redblacks. Well, here is one of the winners that went to the game. This is Vincent Gargano. He was pictured with our beloved producer, Jenny Duhame, who also attended the game. And the other winner was none other than Charles Virox Vaccaro. So these 2 winners went to the game. Congratulations to you both. It was a lot of fun, and we got a lot of nice feedback from the show. Well, we got our beloved producer, Jenny, who has achieved her Movember goal by surpassing the 60-kilometer walk. She's done it. She's done it again. Congratulations, Jen. We're really proud of you here on Rob's Inner Circle. Saturday, November 27th, the Big Records Mo team will host a polar bear dip thanks to the generous offering of Tim Steinruck, who will be participating in the challenge at Sasamat Lakes, White Pine Beach in Port Moody, British Columbia, and that'll be at noon Pacific time. This will be a Facebook Live event, and you can donate to Team Big Records label and watch via the Rise Up Facebook page. To donate, all you got to do is just go on the link here at the bottom. The Daily Struggles sitcom is up and running on the Rise Up TV channel on the Roku streaming service. It's a great show you do want to watch. It's a lot of fun. Go ahead and encourage us. We're really picking up steam, really gaining in popularity, and you're going to love this show. If you don't have the streaming stick to go onto Roku, all you got to do is go onto Amazon, and you can get it for as little as $30. That's Amazon.ca. All of the Rob's Inner Circle merchandise is available at 514brandingco.com. You can get some nice collectible mugs. You can get some T-shirts. You can get a whole bunch of collectible things. Really, really fun. 514brandingco.com. We invite you to go onto the Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel where you can watch all of our productions, notably the Rob's Inner Circle podcast from the past. All you got to do is just click on the playlist. Go onto the Rob's Inner Circle podcast. You want to give us some likes. You want to comment. You want to share. Subscribe to Bobby Short Shorts. And most of all, you want to hit that notification bell, because every time you hit the bell, A new production is going to be coming out. You will be the first to know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time once again. It's time to slip into our weekly ritual. It's time to let in the good air, let out the bad. Pick up your feet on the edge of the table, sit back, relax, and let us carry the load. We have a doozy of a show for you folks, so stay tuned. Tonight's star attraction is a writer, a producer, an actor, and a fantastic lady you are all going to fall in love with. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound pleasure to introduce to you tonight's guest, the amazing Teresa Picciano.
Oh. Hi, thank you so much. I'm so
Teresa,
excited.
welcome back to Rob's Inner Circle. Just over a year ago, that's 14 months ago, on September 28th, you were on our show. That's episode 22, by the way. If you click on the Rob's Inner Circle playlist, you can watch that episode as well and learn more about Teresa, because tonight is actually a follow-up from last year's show. So lots has happened, Teresa.
Yes,
Teresa, you're a very, very busy lady.
I am. But before we talk, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me on your show, for everything you do, for all your team producers, and Patty, Jenny, yourself. I just want to thank you so much. Keep up the great work. I follow every week, and if I can't, I always watch the taping at night. So congrats. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Teresa. That is a kind compliment. And again, yes, I do reiterate, I am very blessed to be part of a wonderful team. I got Patty and I got Jenny working with me on the show over here. And that's what makes the show that much better. Teresa, you are just such an amazing person. Wow, there's just so much going on in your life. And I remember back in the day when you were on our show last year, you were working on Mate and Date.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the evolution. What went on exactly, like from last year to where we are today? What happened exactly?
Well, when I was on your show, it was quite interesting because it was COVID, right? So we were at home, we weren't really working, and I had planned to do Mate and Date. I had planned to do another short film, and I couldn't do it because of COVID regulations and restrictions. And I finalized Mate and Date, got my crew, got all the approvals, and we filmed Mate and Date. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. And it was released for festivals in 2021 as of March. So we're doing quite well.
Well, for the audience, we have a little teaser here. We have the trailer to Mate and Date, and we're going to be elaborating a little more on Mate and Date right after this trailer.
That's great. Thank you.
And by the way, prepare your questions. Teresa will be more than obliged. She just loves answering your questions. Don't you, Terry?
Love it.
Yeah, but it'll happen right after this.
I created the profiles for everybody, and I took the liberty to go through all the personality trait questions, so we're good to go.
Oh, God bless you.
I'm so excited for you.
Wow. Hey, Teresa, I had the honor to attend a private screening on that fateful Sunday in the summer, and I got to meet some of the amazing people that were on the. Actually, Josa Mal, who just popped up over here, she was one of the guests.
Yes. Hi, Josa.
Thank you for tuning in, Josa. Thank you to everyone. So tell us a little bit about that private screening. There was a lot going on that very day.
Yes, the private screening was for the cast and crew. I also invited special guests. One of them was Josa Mal, who's not only a casting director, but has her own school, MSOPA. Fantastic place to be. I also invited my agent, another casting director, the sponsors. So it was an important moment, especially after COVID. or during, we're still in COVID, but I mean, it was so restricted, and just being able to go and sit down with masks nonetheless, but it was just great to go and meet everybody. And I thought I had to spoil everyone because they worked so hard, So I had gifts for them, and we chose a nice location at Leonardo da Vinci. We had a nice cinema, Il Piccolo Teatro. So yeah, I think it went well.
And along the lines, you won an award of excellence offered by the Yes Film Festival. What was that all about?
Yeah, that was a complete surprise and an honor. In fact, I have it here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, I was given this award of excellence. There's a recipient annually, and I received it in 2020. And it was just first of all, apart from a surprise, it was just a beautiful gift to receive and an honor from Danny Mallon and his Yes Montreal Film Festival, which in fact is this weekend on Sunday, where Mate and Date will be screening, and we're nominated for 4 awards. Let's hope we win one.
We wish you the best of luck, Teresa. And you said that you were taken aback, you were shocked, you were surprised when you got that award. Why is it that I'm not surprised?
I know, but they say it's hard work, dedication. But I mean, we all work hard, right? So some work harder than me, some work smarter than me, but you do what you love, no matter what you do. So just to be recognized, it was heartfelt. I was touched.
So filming Mate and Date brought along many challenges, because you were filming, as you were saying before we went on the air, during COVID's peak.
Yes.
Now, so what's happening is that you can't really have too many people in the same area, and the way you're also delivering the food to the actors, to the crew, to the extras, there were many, many challenges. So Terry, you want to share with us what the challenges were exactly and how it is that you dealt with them?
Yeah. When we were filming Mate and Date, it was a little bit stricter. Now the restrictions have lessened, but during Mate and Date, it was stricter. The vaccines weren't all out yet. It wasn't an easy moment. So we had to be very careful. We had to make sure that sanitizing products were everywhere. We had to have space. We couldn't work 2 or 3 people close together. We had 2 actors who wanted to be filmed alone. And with all due respect, I wanted them there. And we did. We filmed them alone. So we had to prepare chairs. I had those styrofoam heads where you place wigs. I had placed them on the seats, with a wooden stick, had a photo of the actor so that we can keep the same eye level for the filming. And we did it. And during editing, they had to paste it in. There were maybe some scenes that we could have done a little bit differently, but it would have been too challenging to have everyone together. And we didn't want to, not only myself, but the crew and everybody, we didn't want to risk it. So, and also for the food, we cannot have buffets, or I couldn't buy a pizza and cut it up in pieces. Everything had to be individually wrapped. So I had a fantastic caterer in the West Island, Trattoria Susana. I went and ordered my meals, and they were delivered each in a brown gift bag. And inside, they had their meal, their salads, their dessert. So everything was covered, protected.
We want to give a shout out to a good friend, and he was a guest on our show earlier this year, Corey Meyers, who directed Danny Boy. And that's another amazing show. So Corey, thank you for tuning in. And thank you to all the producers and directors and all of you wonderful people who've tuned in. And like I said, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask your questions. Teresa's going to be more than happy to answer your questions. So how is it? You said you had to put up these props. You had to put them on sticks. You had to put like a styrofoam head. You had to put some hair on them and with a picture of the other actor. I can just imagine how challenging, how difficult that must have been for the other actor, because even though the other actor isn't speaking, the interaction must be very difficult. How did the actors go about working around that challenge?
Well, because of the COVID safety, I was on the outside. Then there was a director, there was a script supervisor, there was the assistant AD. They were all there, reading the lines to the actor. Look, it's not easy, but it's part of being a job, right? It's part of the job. It's part of the craft to be able to do that. Sometimes you got to put your sensory work into practice here. We do how many times do we do self tapes, or do we have to pretend that we're speaking to a cat when the cat is not there and there's a glass or something? So it's part of the craft, and they managed quite well. They really well.
You wear many hats, and each of the hats that you wear them very well.
Oh, thank you.
I can imagine you're the producer of the movie, you're the writer, you're performing, and you're overlooking everything that's going on. You have about 20 eyes all over your head. It must be challenging, but you do it well. I know for a lot of people, it's probably very hard to do, but you just pull this off well, that you have all this going on, and when it's time for you to act out your part, you actually do it with brilliance. How do you do it, Terry? How do you do it?
Yeah, no, Rob, you're not the first person who's asked that. And I really don't know how I do it, but I do manage. And, it is very stressful. But I'm a person who can multitask. I can do 5 things at the same time. Maybe sometimes it looks like I'm panicking. Sometimes I am, but it may seem that I'm panicking, but I'm not. I can really handle 5 or 6 things at the time. Look, when you're doing low budgets, when you're doing no budgets, when you're working and and you're short staffed, sometimes you have no choice. You have to play your cards that way, and if you can't, then you shouldn't be producing, because it's heavy. Or you just produce and you don't do anything else.
But anyways, like I said, you just do everything well. It's just amazing. And you were just cut out just to be doing this type of work. I just wanted to show the audience just how talented you are. Folks, we have Teresa's demo reel here that she sends out to casting houses anytime it's necessary. So let's take a quick look over here at Teresa's skills as an actor on set of all the projects she's done.
Okay, sound is rolling, and clap it.
Scene 14, shot 3, take 14.
Excuse me.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for a doctor named Liam.
Dr. Bernard to the emergency desk. Dr. Bernard to emergency desk, please. You have a visitor.
Seriously? Yes. It's unfortunate how quickly time passes by. Here, let me take you to our senior aisle.
Senior?
Maybe they're not home.
But what about all the food I made?
We can eat it at home. Besides, the Habs are playing tonight.
We haven't seen Margot in years. You see the Habs every week.
I see.
Not again. What?
Why don't you come over here and give me a mouthful of sugar, huh?
Tell nobody.
I don't plan on it.
Ever since that one fine day in the alleyway, these guys haunt my dreams.
It's getting frizzy back here, and you know what? I see a bulge.
What?
There.
Where?
No.
Oh,
It's okay.
hang on.
It's okay. We're gonna work with what we got. Okay?
Pish posh, we're all friends around here. Oh, Margot! Oh, come and see your favorite neighbors.
we have to alter those vitamins.
Alter. Baby is crowning. It's time to push. Okay, now push!
Yeah, you know what? And I could choose. Do I work? Do I retire? Do I travel? Do I get Botox? Tick tock, tick tock. I'll show you. Thank you.
All of you are a bunch of f***ing hacks. Yeah. Me too. Hey, me too. Yeah, shirts off, everyone.
Kiss 14, shot 3, take 15.
Wow, that's just beautiful.
Yeah. Now, I have a new demo that's being done because there's a lot of other changes and ads on it. But I guess when I come back to Rob's Inner Circle.
Hey, you know what? Let's not wait a year for you to come back because there's so much going on with Teresa Picciano that I am predicting in 6 months you'll be back. So when you're on set and you're filming, do you have a COVID coordinator and someone who takes care of the needs of the actors pertaining to COVID?
Yeah. I didn't have one for mate and date. And the reason is the location was very small. It was in a home. It was one out once. So I kind of organized it myself. I did a COVID test. I got my certificate to be a COVID coordinator. So I did it on my own. When we filmed the recent film that we just did, we had 2 locations. Both of them had a lot of extras, a lot of actors, crew, a bigger crew. So yes, I hired 2 COVID coordinators. They weren't COVID coordinators, but I sent them the exam and they passed and they became coordinators.
And how long did it take to film Mate and Date?
Mate and Date was done on a complete day. So it was probably about, I'd say 13, 14 hours. And then we did return to the home on a second occasion just to film the beginning, the scene. You had a little glimpse of it on the trailer, but the beginning of the scene, it's just because it was night and we had to film the day. So we kept, since it was just me, we kept that to the end and it was voiceovers, you know.
And how about the editing? Did that take a long time?
Yeah, the editing took long. Yeah, editing took a little bit of time, but look, we finally did it. So sometimes, you know, they say, take your time, you know, you produce better materials. So we, you know, he took his time and we did create, we reviewed it a couple of times, you know, made some adjustments and everything. And he did quite a good job.
And when you're on a set, there's obviously one of the biggest challenges we all face as producers, directors, because I'm in the industry myself and I know exactly what we're both talking about over here. It's in terms of continuity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're doing the shot and all that. And sometimes, I mean, these are little details, but when you're looking at the rushes, you actually see that the actor had the glasses on.
Yes.
And then take 16, the glasses weren't there. Either he or she took them off for just to wipe them or something, forgot to put them back on. So continuity is a big, big issue. You must have a checklist of all sorts, taking pictures on set just to make sure that you have continuity going on the set, right?
Absolutely. It's one of the most important things. And it's, like you just said, it happened to me too on the recent film. I wasn't keeping an eye on things. So we're at the table and, you know, we had bottles and bottles of wines and everything. And we had to do a retake and then we did it. And it was just fantastic. You know, when everything worked and all of a sudden I just glanced to my left and I said, oh, where's the 7-Up bottle?
Oh, no.
I said, oh my God. So the person had moved it aside. And so we had to retake that take all over again. and yeah, so it happens. And then there was another thing too, the wine bottle, we had poured wine And because we're trying, to speed things up, they filled up the 7-Up bottle. They didn't fill up the bottle of wine. So then it showed on camera because of the transparency from the bottle. So thank God we caught it on time, So yeah, you got to keep your eyes open all the time. And you have people doing that, but when you're no budget or small budget, sometimes you got to do 4 or 5 things at the same time. So
folks, just for the fun of it, and these blunders don't only happen on short films, on local productions and what have you. They also happen on huge Hollywood productions. I remember seeing a scene in Spider-Man where on the doorknob, you take a close look, you see the guy with the boom mic, the reflection of that.
Yeah.
And in other scenes, you see the microphone coming into the right into the frame. So if you want to have some fun, folks, go onto YouTube and type production blunders. And you're going to have a really good time. You're going to see all of the mistakes that are in films. The movie was shot, and maybe, right after the private screening, that's when they caught it. And it was too late.
Yeah.
So the script of Mate and Date was something that was stirring and brewing. It matured over time. You just didn't get up one morning and you said, hey, I'm going to write this movie. It took some time for you, to put these thoughts to paper and the paper to film. So how long was that process?
Yeah, I have so many ideas for films and theater pieces. And, everything, personal life crisis arise, COVID came in and everything. So sometimes filming wasn't always there, but the ideas were there. And Mate and Date, I didn't have the title yet, but I try to work a lot on producing and creating films for older women, because I noticed that there's a lot of auditions going on. We audition a lot, but it's always younger women there are roles for younger women, but not for women over 50, or especially women over 60 and 70. So I always try to create, if I can't get it, might as well do my own. So I try to create movies for women, about women. And I was always at my friend's place where in fact we filmed Mate and Date. And her mother, may she rest in peace, Minnie, she always used to say, oh, Terry, because a lot of people call me Terry, I'd love to be in one of your movies one day, and I'd say, sure, I'll create one just for you. And that never happened because Minnie passed away. And I always felt in my heart that I had to create something in her honor. And this movie, Mate and Date, is dedicated to Minnie Daniolo. And I used to remember Minnie having card games with the women, they're all widows. As lonely as they were, their mentality kept them away from meeting another man or dating, the European descent. They believe that once your spouse passes away, life is lonely, life is alone, right? So they always would celebrate together and play cards together, and then they would go home, and it'd be so sad to see them alone. And I said to myself, well, there you go. I'm going to create a story about women, and also Alzheimer's and disease and, dementia. And I said, okay, what am I going to call it? So they're looking for a mate. Let's get them a date, Mate and Date. And, yeah.
And again, like you said, you love rhymes. So and that rhymes very well. Mate and Date. Like I was saying at the beginning of the show, I was just totally taken aback at all of the attention, the special care you take to make sure that everybody is accounted for. And you give special care to all of the extras as well in the show, as if they were actors with lines. I was just totally impressed with how you were giving out gifts to each and every one, in the movie, whether one of the people was holding a door, you just saw the back of his head or her head. That person was of equal importance to the movie, and you recognize that. And I want to congratulate you for that, because that is such a beautiful gesture on your part.
Yeah. I been in business, had small businesses before and everything. I remember one thing I took out in one of the trainings, and it was they were talking about how to treat employees. That any employee is as important as the owner. And there was this man that owned a shop, a giftware shop. And when clients would open the door and walk in, there was a sign that would have his photo, and it would say, "I may run this business." And then at the bottom was all his staff, but my employees keep it running. And I'll never forget, like I heard this 20 years ago, I'll never forget that line. And for me, no matter who, what, where, everybody, let it be an extra, let it be an actor, let it be a director, the sweeper, anybody, without them, there'd be no movie. That's it.
So at your private screening, I remember on that particular day, I met some wonderful people. I made some new friends. For the first time, I met Biagio Farina. We're Facebook friends.
Yes.
But we actually met for the first time. I met with Jesse Avelino. There was Mario Bifarelli, whom I met for the first time. I caught up with Charles Vaccaro. There was also Rosina Bucci. Yep. Joe Samal was there, as we said at the beginning of the show. And going back to Mario and Charles and... not
Biagio.
Biagio. What am I saying? Fabio. Biagio. They actually worked on your musical score, and they did a very, very good job. So those three married well with each other. How much fun was it working with them?
Yeah, well, Charles, I met Charles. He did the first musical score on my first film, 55. And he brought along Mario with him to do the scores. And then when Mate and Date was coming out, I asked Charles if he'd be interested in participating again. And he had placed a song that he had written years ago on Facebook. And when I heard the song, I said, "Oh my God, that's my theme song for Mate and Date." So I asked him if I can use the song and if he'd be interested and participating once again with Mate and Date. And of course, his generosity, he's all heart. He said yes. And he brought along Mario, he brought along Jacinto Salerno to work on the scores. And there was one part that I wanted some folkloric Italian music, accordion style. And this man is the epitome of accordion players in Montreal, Biagio Farina. I know him. We grew up together, went to school together. So talented, so talented. And I knew I wanted him to be part. So I had mentioned his name to Charles, and Charles says, "No worry, I'll get in touch with Biagio." And of course, then Biagio called me. He says, "Oh my God, yes, of course I'll be part." So what an honor. And it was a good team, good music.
Well, we have a couple of questions. We have one that we're going to go back to. That's from Jesse Avelino, but we have one in the meantime from Sonia Huggins, who has tuned in. Thank you so much, Sonia. Oh, so I guess you two know each other.
Yeah.
So she goes
through the airways.
There you go. So here she goes. She goes, "Teresa, you're amazing. Where did you train, and how long have you been acting, directing, and producing?"
Great. Well, Sonia, thank you for asking. So how long have I been in the business? Well, growing up, I always wanted to be an actor. Life took me different directions. So I had put everything on a hold. I even went and worked on the islands. I returned and I said, "Oh, how am I going to get back into something that I want to do?" Right. So I started working in communications, stayed there a while, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. And it showed. Even though I won awards at that company, even though they treated me well, and I was there quite a long time, there was something missing. I wasn't the Teresa I had to be. And if I can say anything before we finish, like, if anybody has a dream, you need to make that dream come true. You can't make other people stop you from dreaming. You must do it, no matter what it is. If it seems impossible, it's possible. That's it. There's no thing about it, So I left a very well-paying job I left everything. I lost pension. I lost everything. I left, and I decided it was time to take my passion and make it happen. And that's what I did. So I was lucky enough to find an agent right away and start auditioning. So we're looking at about 9 years ago, where I was actually where I actually started to take acting as a full-time career. And yeah, where did I train? I've trained in many places, MSOPA. I've trained at Le Studio d'Acteurs de Gilles Plouffe. I studied with Tom Todoroff. I even went to New York with two actors that were also in my movies, Julie Harmer and Doreen Tang. I took Mario Morin. I took classes with him as well. Susanna Lanier. I love Susanna as well. So yes, I've taken many. There's much more, but like, there's not enough time.
We have another audience member and someone you know quite well, as a matter of fact, by the name of Mr. Jesse Avelino. Jesse, thank you so much for tuning in, buddy. So Jesse goes on to say, Terry, you're looking great. How could anyone argue with that? And how was it like working with Laraslav on Transplant?
Oh my God, yeah. It was amazing. Like, that was my first television series. And she, you know, when she came into the holding room, we're sitting down and she's like right here. And I'm like, do I talk to her? Don't I talk to her? Do I talk to her? So then I said, oh, well, I said, hi, how are you? So we started talking. She's amazing. It's nice to see them get into character so fast, because you know they're everything is, you know how it is on sets. It's all about money and time, right? Film, it's not like theater where you have that moment and you know to breathe. Here you have no time. When they say the director's calling you, the ADs are calling you, you got to go. So it was impressive to see how fast they can go into character. Just like this.
So just recently, before we go on to the question, go on to the next topic over here, we're gonna have Jesse ask you another question here. Who's an actor that inspires you and you'd love to work with one day?
Oh my God, Jesse. You know, like, who doesn't want to work with the Al Pacinos and the Robert De Niros and the Scorseses? I mean, you know, like being Italian, you know, even though I always said to myself, you know, there was a movie here that was filmed, Mafia Inc. Never worked on it. And I kept on saying, if there's a part 2, I need to be on that movie. There's another movie that was out, Bad Blood. Again, I said, I need to be in that series. Never happened, you know, so we never know. But yeah, actors that I would love to be with are, you know, the big ones. You know, I'd love to work with someone as talented as Meryl Streep, just to, even if it's like, just to be next to her, even if it's one line, you know, you know, Kate Winslet, you know, those actors, like, oh my God, Leonardo DiCaprio, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. Oh my God. Yeah.
So recently you wrapped filming on your newest short film that's going to be released sometime in the early 2022.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about Seamless Journey, because that is one beautiful production. And I had the honor, and again, I thank you, Teresa. You cast myself. Patty was our producer was on that film as well. And my significant other, sweetheart, we were all on your, in that movie. That's a nice production. And you actually got to work with Elia Costello and Ionis Katrubis for the first time.
Yes. Yes.
So recount to us how beautiful that experience was, because I know I was there. The set was a lot of fun. There was a lot of energy. You gave out a humongous speech that was so touching, that just to spark up the actors and the extras before we went and shot the scene. So tell us how wonderful it was working on this movie.
Yeah. Seamless Journey, this, you know, sometimes you say, do you have ideas? This idea was even before 55, before Mate and Date. It's a story that's very personal to me. And the characters in the story. I was very careful of who I asked to be an extra, and I was also very careful of who I chose to represent the roles in as an actor. There's an actor that was there, Terry Visani, who plays the role of Giuseppina. There's special reasons why I chose her. And when I asked, I said, I hope she's available, and I really hope she says yes, So everybody was particularly special. And when it comes to the extras, I handpicked each one of them. I can just shout out names. I don't know if they're on, but there were names like Patty Russo, Nancy DiRienzo, Martine Bouchard, Sylvie Villot, oh my God, and so many names right now that I know that there was Esther Brzezinski and Fernando Renzo. There was Tom Vien. Jesse Avelino was also one of the extras, and we also filmed where he works. There's so many more extras, but Caplana was another one as well. Calpana, sorry. Everybody was chosen specifically for their. Patty Saragoza as well from your team was chosen. There's a reason behind that. I needed they had to have that heart to be in this movie. And this movie is about the Italian immigrants, not only the Italian, the European as well, that arrived in this country without anything, penniless. And in those days, in the 60s, early 60s, late 50s, early 60s, no welfare, and no Medicare, no money. There was just work, lots of work. And they landed here, they'd go to sleep, and the next day they found work. And that's what it was. And they sacrificed so much for their lives because they didn't want their families and their children to live what they lived back then, that they didn't travel, they just worked night and day. And I grew up never feeling poor. I grew up always feeling rich because my parents made it, not my parents, but our whole community made it feel just so transparent. And that's why the film is called Seamless. So seam because it takes place in a manufacturer, the seams, and seamless because everything was so transparent. And to be part of this movie, you have to have that, you have to have a heart and understanding to have lived it. And I also wanted to add a little bit of the Portuguese in it because I was a lot of Portuguese friends, very close even today. And they were also hard workers. So I got them involved as well.
We have an interesting question over here coming from Elio Costello.
Elio! Such an amazing guy.
And so here's a question. Who's your favorite director?
Well,
I can see that one coming.
It's got to be Elio Costello.
No way.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you so much, Elio. Elio was a director of Seamless Journey. Oh, my God. Yes. And he's very patient as well.
And that's a great shout out to you, Elio. And it was a lot of fun working with you as well. And you know what, Elio? You're my favorite director, too. So, Ionis Katrubis was on your set. And what was very interesting is that the students from Trebas Institute, they're actually studying film. The Trebas Institute is an institution where they teach filming and cinema and all that. Mm-hmm. And he brought along many of the students. And I just found the atmosphere so nice, so beautiful. It was great. It was professional. But Terry, you can elaborate more on this. Tell us a little bit more of how just beautiful the experience was working with all of these students and Ionis.
First of all, I have to thank John and Elio. Ionis is John and Elio for accepting to be part of Seamless Journey because it's a film that takes place in two different eras. So one was in the 60s, one was in the 90s, and in two different locations. When we were at the factory, the manufacturer, Jesse Avelino, there was so many concerns of everything, right? We had to be careful of the equipment, the electrical units, the sewing machines and the press machines and everything. So there was a lot to worry about and to be concerned about. But let me tell you, when John arrived and his crew arrived, They arrived with a huge smile. It was 7 a.m, ready to go. And there was a lot of equipment. We had to take from the dock, bring it upstairs. Jesse was just a star that day, helping everyone out. Meanwhile, I was with the unit production manager, and we're trying to figure out all the forms that had to be completed, and the COVID and this and that. And these guys worked like throughout. No complaints, no issues, no problems, no swearing. It was lunchtime. They all ate. Lunch was over. They're back on it. And then what surprised me the most was the ending. We had to run downstairs to film the ending of the 60s era. And it was late at night. So we're like 12 hours or 13 hours past, right? Now, don't forget, they probably woke up at 5 or 6 or 5:30 in the morning. So now it's like 13 hours later, and I swear they had the same look, the same smile, the same energy, the same love, the same passion, everything. They even had jokes. And when John said, "It's a wrap," oh my God, like everybody was like, "What? Oh no," like they wanted more. That for me, there's no price for that.
It's priceless. And for everything else, there's MasterCard.
Yeah.
So Esther Brzezinski, my good friend and co-host on the podcast, Noon Hour Out of the Box, actually had a role in there with a wonderful Fernando. And you did some shooting at her house. And she was actually the COVID coordinator and location manager. 2 tasks that she did brilliantly, as you were telling me.
Yes.
It must have been a lot of fun working with Esther and Fernando.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, Esther, I had her do a voiceover for the role of Mrs. Katz in the movie, and I also put her on as an extra, and she shined bright on it. And then for the 90s, we filmed at Esther's house. She gladly opened her home to us, and we used every part of her home, like from the kitchen to the den to the living room to the washrooms to the bedroom to change. And her and Fernando were simply house. They just opened their house to us. They opened their home wholeheartedly. It was incredible. And then for the catering, I purchased the items and everything. I brought them to Fernando because he loves to cook, and he did all the cooking. So we had handmade pasta, we had the Italian meatballs, and anyway, the whole works. He baked a beautiful dessert, and all COVID conscious. Everybody was served individually, we did it all. And then I asked poor Esther, I said, "Esther, I need a COVID coordinator. I think you do a fantastic job." She says, "Oh yeah?" Says, "Yeah." So I said, "I'm going to send you the exam, okay? Bye." So she completed the exam. She passed, of course, and she became a COVID coordinator.
Esther's always down. She's always down.
Yeah, she's amazing.
There's one thing we can really appreciate about Seamless Journey. It's the way you blended in all of the ethnic groups. Because right now we're seeing more and more, it's a trend we're seeing in Canadian film and television, that it's more inclusive. It's not only the Caucasians in the movies. It's very inclusive. You have a whole bunch of ethnic groups, and you did that with brilliance. So I wanted to tip my hat to you for doing such an amazing job representing all of the ethnicities. You did such a great job with that. Congratulations, Terry.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I can't wait for Seamless Journey. It's the editing is going to be is starting soon. So hopefully everything will be ready so that we can start submitting to film festivals. And I know that my vision is going to be well portrayed, right, Elio? No, I know that I've got the right team to take care of this. And I know, and also even the music, I have to mention, for the music, I have Biagio Farina with his accordion and his theme song, Viva l'amore. And I've always wanted him to lend me the song, and it's finally on this movie. I also have Joe Pooga. Joe Pooga is a talented Portuguese singer here in Montreal, and he offered one of his folkloric songs to be part of the movie. And I also have the incredible Herman Alves, who's also a sponsor, Her Media. He's a producer, music producer. He's got all the Fado Portuguese singers that come down from Portugal here in Montreal. And he wrote specifically for this movie a nice instrumental track. And yeah, I'm pretty spoiled on this movie as well with music.
So you're flirting with the idea of shooting a long, well, in French we would say long métrage, a long metrage,
a feature,
film.
Yeah.
if you translate the English, you're flirting with the idea of shooting a feature film. Is that something that may be happening anytime soon?
Yes, there is a feature film. We spoke about it 14 months ago that I was in the process of doing, and I have 60 pages written. There's about 40 pages left. I had spoken to this once when I went to speak to a consultant, about finance and assistance to produce such a, because it's a big film. And she had mentioned, I remember she had said to me, stop everything you're doing and concentrate on your feature. So I think she saw something on it. But then again, everything took me everywhere and I couldn't. So I put it aside. So I'm taking the feature and I'm working on it in 2022. I need to finish writing it. I have to revise it, and I'm going to be serious on it this time.
We can also see you on 2 shows on Mat TV. Are you the host of both of those shows?
Yeah. Well, Mat TV is local television here in Montreal, and I've done several shows. If anybody wants to see my YouTube page, Teresa Picciano, you have some episodes that have aired on Mat TV that are on, and now this season here I'm doing 2 episodes on Les Arts. It's a French series, but they're doing episodes right now in 2021 and 2022 in English as well. So I did one report 2 weeks ago. It should be airing the 30th of November, I think. And I've been asked to do another one again in 2022. And I'll be speaking, I shouldn't say. Yeah, I'm doing another one in 2022.
Don't blow it. Don't blow it.
Yeah.
Keep it under the hat.
And Mat TV was a great experience because I not only do reports, I'm also a columnist. I do interviews, and it's great. It's amazing.
You're also working on a TV series that got some interesting reviews, and it's a big possibility that we will be seeing Teresa's TV series sometime in the future, because I'm persuaded that you're going to find a way to make this work, Teresa.
Yeah. Well, this television series, I've been at it since 5 years. And to answer Sonia's question, Sonia, when she asked before, when did I start acting? I remember that reality television series was really in those days. And I said to myself, if the Cake Boss can do it, I can do it. And I decided one morning, I woke up and I said, I'm going to do a reality television series. And I went completely blind on this. I went on Google, I started doing my research, and I said, all right, no problem. I wrote my thing, did a little synopsis, did my little Bible, did my log line, I did everything I had to do. Got one of my friends, Helen Stavaris. I don't know if she's on tonight, but oh my God, she helped me lots when it was the beginning of this television series pitch, and I can't thank her enough for it. And I started sending it out, and oh my God, we're talking the big ones: Pixcom, E1 Entertainment, Cream Productions, Temple Productions, all these big guys from LA. They were all calling me, asking me for videos, asking me if I had episodes written. So they liked the idea. I got in, and when I started getting in, I said, I need some help. So I called the lawyer, and he gave me an hour free consulting services. And what he said to me was, you know, your name is not Angelina Jolie or everyone else. So you need something strong to get in. Because if you don't have a strong invitation letter and, you know, sign all your release forms and everything, you're not going to get in. But you know what, Rob, I got in. And it went to the round tables. And then after, when it came to the final decision, I was not chosen. So I did modify it a couple of times, and then I converted it into a comedy television series. And during COVID, a huge production company in Montreal asked me if I could submit a pilot, and we had to write a pilot. And they also asked me if I could do it in French. And I don't have a French script of it, but I said, yes, I could. I can get a writer. And then finally, we did what we had to do. I had Tony Calabretta, another talented actor in Montreal, assist me with this, another angel. And we submitted it, and they read it, and they sent me a letter, and they said, okay, you're going to step 2. I'll be in touch with you right away. And finally it went, and because of COVID, they said, we can't right now, you know, we took others. So I'm this close. So I decided I'm going to be shooting a pilot in 2022 of this series, because I got to show them where it is. And hopefully it's got to be someone out there is going to pick it up, you know?
Teresa, just pinpointing here that George Lucas, everybody knows George Lucas with the Star Wars trilogy, and actually trilogies, more than that right now. He went to studios with an idea to shoot chapter 4 of his book, Star Wars. And he got laughed at by all of the studios until 20th Century Fox decided to take a chance with it. The rest is history. So if it happened to him, Teresa, it can definitely happen to you. And with all the talent that you have, all the smarts, the brilliance, the resources, there is no way in the world why you cannot make this happen. You know, folks, this is going to be a bold prediction you hear here on Rob's Inner Circle. Teresa's series, the TV series, will come to be. And you've heard it here first. This is my prediction. I'm going to eat my words if this doesn't happen. Teresa, you're going to make it.
Thank you so much. And you know, when you asked about extras, I already know a few of the extras that I want. There's a very close friend, Portuguese friend, Maria-Ellen Harris. I don't know if she's on. She was on, yes. She is? Okay, she was on Seamless. She supports me everywhere I go, every show I do. And I have a good thing for her on this pilot as well. And many of the extras that I already used. So yeah, it's in my heart.
And you know what? Esther Brzezinski backs me up on my claim. She goes, it's going to happen, and she knows it.
Yeah. I just saw Mary Stacy.
Yes,
Mary Stacy, you're going to be on the pilot too.
There you go. Congratulations, Mary. Looking forward to seeing that. And thank you, Mary, and everyone for tuning in this evening. This hour is flying. It's flying. Teresa, let's talk about, you wanted to write a play at some point. Is that something you're still looking at right now?
Yes, I am. But I'll be honest with you. I need to concentrate on my pilot. I need to concentrate on the feature. And then once I complete the feature, I will be doing the theater piece as well. And theater is going to be so much different. I can do a lot of different things with the theater. So I'm really anxious for that.
Teresa, you are one popular woman. You are stirring the planet. You're stirring the universe. Jess Sorrell has tuned in from Australia.
Oh my God,
to watch the show.
Hello, Jess.
Thank you for tuning in, Jess. Thank you so much. So, plays. Speaking of which, this last Saturday, something really, really interesting happened. But we have a little clip over here just to start things off, and then to close off our show, we're going to be elaborating a little bit on Joe and Mary's wedding. But before we go to that, we're going to be looking at the small little clip that someone filmed, amateur film here. Wow, someone looks happy. That looks like a lot of fun. So you were in Joe and Mary's wedding, and it took place this last Saturday. Tell us all about that production. That looks so much fun.
Yeah, well, Joe and Mary's wedding is it's a fake Italian wedding. So it's as if you're going, you purchase your tickets. It's as if you're going to a real Italian wedding here in Montreal. You've got the music, you've got the food, you've got the sweet table, and you got everything. But all the table of honor, they're all actors or comedians. So my role was the mother of the groom. And my husband was Joe Cacchione, who's Montreal's very popular and famous comedian across Canada and the US and Italy. Anyway, everybody knows Joe Cacchione, more or less. And so it was amazing. And this was Montreal's last show. The other shows are going to be in Toronto. I think they're thinking about going back to Ottawa. We did Ottawa just before. We did it in February, and then everything shut down in March for COVID. So that was the last Ottawa show, but this was the last Montreal show. Oh, I'm gonna go.
Was this filmed? Is this going to be available on DVD to be viewed?
No.
Oh, no, that's unfortunate.
I know. And Saturday's group, we had 300 people. Normally we're about 500-600. But because of COVID and the 1 meter restriction, we had 300, and it was just amazing. We were all connected. We had a great crowd. I think everybody felt the energy. Everybody was dancing. Everybody was eating. Everybody was careful. It was just great. It was just great.
Well, you have a lot of new fans tonight. You have hundreds, thousands of fans across the world, Terry.
Oh.
Australia, how did you manage to do that?
I don't know. Through the airways.
And you got Sonia Huggins, who just can't wait to meet you in person.
Oh, I know. Thank you, Sonia. Me too. Yeah, and that on Joe and Mary's, like Esther came with Fernando, Helen, which I mentioned before, that helped me from the television. She was there. Maria Lynn Harris was there. Once again, Mary Stacy was there with her husband, and Joe Pooga. What a surprise! He's writing the Portuguese song for our Seamless Journey. He showed up. So I had so many. All the crew. I had Shante, the unit production manager. I had Lily, who's going to be working on the editing. I had Jonathan Carlone, who did the wardrobe for Maiden Date and helped me out on 55 as well. So it was great to see that they stick with you and they follow, It was just beautiful.
Teresa, thank you so much for being on our show tonight.
Is it over?
It's over. Oh, my God. And John Paul, you really liked the interview tonight. And we had 158 comments on the show tonight. And Teresa, congratulations. That is a record-breaking mark.
Oh.
And you've set a new standard. You've broken all-time record on our show. And Teresa, thank you so much again for being on our show. We also want to thank you personally on behalf of myself and Patty, because you're an absolute supporter. You're not only a person who is supported, but you actually support others.
Oh.
You are always on our shows. You're tuned into Rob's Inner Circle. You tune into Noon Hour Out of the Box. You're a great supporter, and we want to thank you so much for being a supporter and not only a supportee.
Thank you so much. And I really want to say a huge thank you, not only to you and Jenny and Patty, but to everyone that took the time to listen to this conversation. All my friends and, I just saw names popping up. I can't see them all, but I saw like Terry V. I saw Sal Tucci before, like, oh my God, Sal. We go back, way back. So thank you.
Terry, we're going to have our meet and greet with Patty and Jenny like we always do traditionally every week with our guests. We're going to be taking a peek of because these things went by fast and I didn't have a chance to look at them myself. So a reminder to everybody, this show is going to be rebroadcast once again on the Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel. You could also go on my personal Facebook page. You can watch it again. And for those who didn't have a chance to leave their comments now, not a problem. You can do that afterwards. Terry, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And if ever you want to be in my movie, message me on Messenger. Send me a DM, and I'll write your name down, okay? And Sal, hi, Terry. Hi, Sal. And Sal, yeah, I'm going to put you in one of my movies.
Terry, thank you so much. Stand by. We're going to be coming to chat with you.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Terry. So there you have it. That was our guest tonight, a film producer, a writer, and an actor, the amazing Teresa Picciano. Thank you to all for tuning in once again. I want to remind you that this upcoming Wednesday on the Noon Hour Out of the Box podcast that I co-host with Esther Brzezinski, we're going to be talking about sleep apnea. You're going to catch us this Wednesday at noon. You can also hear us on Access Radio. That's accessradio.ca every Saturday between noon and 3 p.m. And next week, we're going to have another amazing guest. Former Montreal Alouettes football player Anwar Stewart is going to be our guest, coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky. So that's another great show you don't want to miss. We also want to have a final note over here. The Rise Up TV artist Peter Tam and the BC Rotary Club are collectively fundraising to help efforts due to the BC disaster. You all know what happened. There was a huge flood over there. And all our thoughts go out to the families and to all of those who are afflicted. And an account has been set up so that you can donate via PayPal and credit card through the link in the description. So we thank you so much for your support, and thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Take a walk outside your mind.